Hey everybody, my name is Tanya and I have a story I want to share with you. My first question though is, are you guilty of focusing on the message or the messenger? You know, when you're waiting for an answer, you may assume that it's going to come a certain way. We all guilty of that. We think it's going to come a certain way or through a certain person or something like that. And sometimes it just doesn't, of course, it doesn't always work out like that. And so I just want to tell you a quick story about um, how it how things happen for me this this day. Um, so I had a headache this particular day, and it's pretty rare that I would get a headache unless it's a hunger headache. But for some reason, I had a headache, and it caused me to sit, be still all day, and it just, and but I did have a Zoom meeting, so I'm in different groups, and so one of the groups we had a Zoom meeting, and in the meeting I got confirmation on some things, and I was feeling really good, I mean, like my name pinpointed, clarification, like bam, 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 like yes, this is correct, and so I felt really good. And so um, a few hours later, I got an alert for another Zoom meeting, and I thought when I looked at it, I thought the person that was having the Zoom meeting is talking about something that I wasn't used to them talking about. Um, so it was a little different. And what I mean by that is, um, let's say, you listen to a certain preacher, and you've been listening to him or her preach for years, and then one day they say, "Hey, I'm teaching a business class," and you're like, "Oh, okay," but they're such a good preacher and teacher that you're like, "Okay, I'll jump in that Zoom. This this could be really good. This is interesting, um, to see this person in another light." And so that's what happened. And I thought, okay, well, um, I'll join the Zoom and see what this is all about, right? So I let's just say the Lord definitely guided me to this meeting, because it was everything that I needed to hear. Like I said earlier, the first meeting was confirmation. This meeting was about things that was revealed about me, myself, and those things that I needed to face and things that I needed to work on. And I thought, so it was mind blowing. I I I mean, even when I think about it now, it still kind of has that little flutter, or flutter, or was it fluster, or whatever you want to call it, of of emotion, because um, it's the reason I know that I was guided there also, with the, like I said, divine guidance, is because I heard something similar prior to this, and I just thought, okay, and so I guess the Lord was like, okay, now I need you to hear this. And so the way this person brought it to my attention was, like in my face, but really good, if that makes sense. Like really good. Like that's what I needed. That's what I needed to hear. This is what it's gonna take, for me to move forward. This is really, my answer to a lot of things. And so it just made me want to say, you know what, this is a good um, this would be a good video to say, you know what, don't pay attention to the messenger always, pay attention to the message. And I know that can mean, you know, that I know that gets a little, uh, what is the word? It's like, you got to be a little careful with that. Of course, I understand that. But the the core of it is for you to have an open mind and be aware, and because you don't know which direction your answer is going to come from. So that's that's what I mean. And when I got this message, it shifted, and I'm trying not to cry. It shifted the way I was thinking about certain things, to the point where I wanted to just, like, okay, I'm changing that right now. I'm changing that right now. I even stayed up and I, wrote some things out, like I really need to shift my mind, and I, slept with my affirmations, like I'm really, really like pounding this new mindset in. And I wanted to, because it felt so good, I wanted to share it with you. And I know that I know that everybody is on a different path, but part of that path is just to have an open mind, and you just never know, because God gives all of us skills and talents and gifts, and all these great things, and you never know how somebody is going to come at you, because a lot of us do have multiple gifts. I have multiple gifts, you have multiple gifts, and certain gifts are needed for certain people. But definitely wanted to share, pay attention to the message, not so much the messenger, and recognize that you are being divinely guided.